So it's finally happening. After years of rumours and endless speculation, Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 4 has officially been revealed at Warhammer Skulls 2026. And this might just be one of the biggest RTS announcements that we have seen for several years. The game officially launches on the 17th of September 2026, and from everything shown so far, this looks like a full return to classic Dawn of War scale, brutality, and strategy. Massive armies, giant battlefields, persistent campaigns, replayable conquest systems. This reveal felt very specifically designed to win long-time fans back. And yes, even the Crusade mode is officially returning. Today we are breaking down everything we know so far about the reveal from the Warhammer Skulls event, including the release date, the different editions of the game, the Year 1 roadmap, the return of the Crusade mode, the DLC expansions, and why Kronus is once again becoming the center of absolute galactic war. So let's start with the basics. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 4 launches on the 17th of September 2026, with two versions available at launch: the Standard Edition and the Commander Edition. The Standard Edition is exactly what you'd expect. You get the base game along with a 10% pre-order discount. Pretty simple. The Commander Edition is where things get more interesting. If you grab that version, you'll get 3-day early access starting on the 14th of September, along with the digital soundtrack and access to both Year 1 DLC expansions. So it's very clearly aimed at hardcore Dawn of War fans, especially people planning to stick with the game long term. And considering how ambitious the roadmap already looks, it might actually be worth it. Now, we need to talk about the announcement that completely stole the show. It's all about the Crusade mode. This really sounds like Dawn of War 4's real long-term replayability system. According to the reveal, Crusade mode is essentially a strategic campaign set across the world of Kronus. Think Dark Crusade, but expanded way beyond what the old games could do. Players will control a strike force on a turn-based world map filled with territories spread across the planet. Every turn, you spend action points to move armies, invade enemy territory, defend captured regions, and slowly expand your influence across the map. What makes the system interesting is that every territory comes with different risks and rewards. Some areas might reward you with extra action points if you conquer them successfully, allowing you to extend your turn and push further into enemy territory. Others might improve your economy, unlock upgrades, or strengthen your forces. So there is this constant layer of strategic decision making happening at all times. Do you play cautiously and secure your territory, or do you push aggressively for a huge reward before the enemy can react? To be honest, this sounds like an incredibly awesome and addictive game mode. Now, the actual battle system for this also sounds really smart as well, because not every fight becomes a full RTS match. The game tracks the relative strength of your strike force compared to your enemy forces, meaning weaker encounters can auto-resolve instantly if victory is basically guaranteed. That keeps the campaign moving quickly instead of forcing players to manually fight battles that don't really matter. But when the game determines a battle is important, that's when you transition into full traditional Dawn of War combat. And this is where things get really interesting. Your units persist between battles. They gain XP, level up, unlock abilities, and retain their war gear throughout the entire Crusade campaign. Instead of constantly rebuilding disposable armies, you are creating veteran forces that survive across multiple wars and become stronger over time. Now that alone feels like a massive evolution for this series. The game also rewards performance, by the way. If you take on impossible odds and somehow dominate anyway, the rewards scale accordingly. So instead of encouraging safe play, the game actually pushes you towards risky and more aggressive decisions. Honestly, the entire mode sounds like they are combining Dark Crusade, Total War style strategy, persistent RPG progression, and replayable roguelike campaigns into one giant system. If they pull this off properly, Crusade Mode alone could keep people playing for hundreds of hours. Now, at launch, 5 commanders will each have their own unique Crusade campaigns, complete with different objectives, starting conditions, strengths, weaknesses, and playstyles. And even better, the developers confirmed that additional Crusades will actually arrive post-launch completely free. Now that is a really good sign for long-term support, because one of the biggest fears, to be honest, with modern strategy games is always whether post-launch content gets locked entirely behind paid expansions. But based on what they've shown so far, it looks like Dawn of War 4 is planning a healthy mix of both free and premium content. Now let's talk about the Year 1 roadmap, because they already have a surprising amount planned. Beginning in fall 2026 and continuing into spring 2027, the game will receive a stream of free updates, including to the Crusade Mode, multiple map packs, new last stand scenarios, additional Crusade content, and maybe most importantly, a full mission editor. For me, that is absolutely huge, because custom content is what kept older RTS games alive for several years. Mods, community campaigns, custom maps, survival modes, that kind of stuff gives strategy games an insane amount of longevity. So seeing them prioritize a mission editor this early is actually a very smart move. What's pretty cool as well is they didn't just label it a map editor, but rather calling it a mission editor suggests, well, you can do just that, create your own missions. Sounds exciting, and I'm pretty excited to see what the community comes up with. Now, the first paid DLC expansion is called the Blood Ravens Story Prologue. This expansion explores events leading up to the main campaign. While the primary Blood Ravens forces are heading toward Kronus, another strike force is traveling towards Aurelia with its own plans for rebuilding the chapter. The second expansion is called Aftermath, and this one sounds much larger. According to the developers, it's a full campaign expansion that introduces an entirely new faction to Dawn of War 4. But of course, they are very intentionally refusing to reveal who exactly that faction is, which means the speculation has already exploded. Some fans think it's the Tyranids, others think Chaos, some are convinced it'll be Elder or Tau, but honestly, I think it's probably going to be the Imperial Guard. Either way, the community are clearly going to be theorizing all about this one. Let me know in the comment section below which one you think it's going to be and which one you want it to be. Anyway, what's especially interesting is that they hinted the ending of the base campaign reshapes the balance of power on Kronus entirely, creating the perfect opportunity for another faction to rise. So whatever happens in the main story, it sounds like the conflict is only going to escalate from there. Now, as for the main campaign itself, Kronus once again becomes the center of galactic war. A ruined world filled with ancient relics, forgotten power, and factions willing to annihilate each other to claim it. At launch, we know already 4 main factions will be entering the conflict: the Space Marines, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Orcs, and the Necrons. Duty, knowledge, brutality, and annihilation. Visually, the game already looks massive: huge armies, cinematic battles, giant war machines, explosive combat. This really does feel like a deliberate return to the large-scale warfare identity that fans have wanted for a long time. Now obviously, as always the case, there will be some unanswered questions, but I have to say this reveal has been absolutely huge. If the Crusade Mode delivers the way that they are describing it, Dawn of War 4 could genuinely become one of the biggest RTS games in many years. Especially because the genre has really been waiting for a heavyweight release with this kind of scale, personality, and ambition. Lots of things have been said, but let me know what you think. Are you excited for Dawn of War 4? And frankly, how could you not? But more importantly, which faction are you planning to play first? Who do you think will be coming as the new faction from the DLC? Drop your theories in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, as always, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.